Right, this video, YouTube video, we're going to just run through morning routine. Okay, so probably would have noticed since I've been out here in Spain since the start of January, there's been some early morning starts. And it's a little bit, do you need to get up that early? Why do I get up that early? How can potentially you implement getting up nice and early? Now, I've not always been a morning riser. Getting up early, I mean. I have to put some innuendo in there. I've not always been someone that gets up really early. I used to, obviously, when I was doing the one-to-one PTing, that was a case of shift started at 5:30, so I was having to get up not off my own accord because I had to be at work. Whereas now I'm getting up at around about the similar time off my own back. Obviously, with what I do, I can pick and choose when I work. I could quite easily start working at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Obviously, depends on the days. However, that's not the case. Now, if we look into the power of the morning, now this has been probably the biggest, not hack, but biggest thing I've implemented into my routine that has got me the most bang for my buck, the biggest return on investment of such. Now, I would probably say 80% of my work done in the morning. Okay, now that is, very much creative stuff. It's very much things I enjoy doing. We're talking like content. Obviously, being out here in Spain, it's maybe a little bit easier to get up because of the weather. However, it's still dark and cold at 5:30 in the morning. But the mornings are where I feel the most creative, most productive. I have the most amount of ideas. I'm genuinely going to bed excited to wake up to action these ideas. Now, like I said, I used to snooze the alarm. 7, half 7. I used to probably wake up 8 o'clock, sort of a more normal time. But one thing I wanted to do whilst out here in Marbella was make the most of the environment that I'm in. Okay, so that's with the people that I'm staying with, but also the environment of being in Marbella. The fact that I'm able to do this. A year or two ago, I would have took your expression, bitten your hand off. So the fact that I'm now here, I wanted to make the most of it. Okay, so if we rewind and think about, right, what can we do to maximise the mornings, or what do I do that you can potentially implement, is I like to start, I planned today, yesterday is the expression. So I make sure that the night before I have written out or planned my day. Okay, so I'll write out 3 to 5 tasks, mainly work related and like fitness related. So like work wise, what tasks do I need to do? Have I got sort of calls booked in? Have I got any projects that I need to do? Have I got content that I need to create? Is there any clips that I've filmed that, that could be a really good piece of content for a reel? I typically will look to do that. Health related, so when am I going to go out and get my steps? Say that, I'm active as it is, I don't really need to think about that, but when am I going to go out? Maybe listen to an audio book, grab a coffee, go to the gym, do my running at the moment, obviously quite high on the list. And then relationship related, it's more so text my mum, rather than anything else, because there's not really too much going on in that department, which is the way it is, which I don't mind. So another thing I'd like to do is I map my week out on a Sunday. So as of filming, it is Monday the 3rd of March. So yesterday, for around about, let's say half an hour, I planned out what my week was going to look like, put it into my Google Calendar, which I run everything off, and then I blocked out certain hours of the day and then wrote what task I'm going to do. Now, I'll plan it in the week for the week, but day by day things will change. Someone inquires for a consultation call. If I have a client that really needs to speak with me, if I have something that's a bit last minute, I can have that flexibility. But that's in the day. The mornings are pretty set in stone because there's no real distractions. So this is my perfect morning routine. Now, it's my routine. This is what works for me. I work for myself, so I haven't got to be anywhere. I work from home. I work remotely. So in some ways it makes it easier, but then I guess some ways it can also make it a little bit more of a challenge, because now I work for myself. I can, I'll do that later. I'll do it tomorrow. I think you go down a slippery slope, and that's something I've been guilty of in the past, of not knowing really what to do and just not doing anything, which is not where you want to be. So for me, get up nice and early, and I know that by around about 11 o'clock, most of the bigger tasks of moving that needle forward have been completed. Okay, so if we look at it from a time perspective, you can see that the moment I'm waking up at 5 a.m. Okay, so it started off waking up at 6:30, then 6, then 5:30, now 5. okay? Just like to make the most of it. I'm in bed by like 9 o'clock as a knock-on effect of this, but then also I've never really been one to go to bed that late, purely down to the fact of I just get bored, sitting around watching stuff, and I'm just like, I'd just rather go to bed. So wake up, a shower. It's not a cold shower, but it is for the last 30 seconds. I was doing just cold showers for the whole of January, and what I noticed was I was just freezing all day. So I'll have a warm shower, finish off for like 30, 40 seconds in the cold, make my bed, come downstairs and start getting things ready. So put the kettle on, take my morning supplements, which I'll go into in a second, hydration, etc. Now, first thing in the morning from about 5:30 till 6, I'll review my tasks that I've set for the day, obviously the night before. Sometimes I'll go to bed and I'll have all these ideas in my head. I'll write it down on a piece of paper in a notepad next to me. And obviously it will then be a case of bringing it down and implementing those things. So it might be content ideas, it might be programming ideas, it might be something I need to mention to a client. I'll write that all down. I'll also respond to many messages overnight. So for me, after 7 p.m, so I go to bed at 9, so the last 2 hours of my evening, I will not really go on WhatsApp or communications with people, just to switch off. So that's at 7 o'clock, which is 6 o'clock UK time. And then normally speaking, in the mornings, I will then, once done my review, my task, etc., I will then respond to any clients. Now, don't get me wrong, I do have notifications. I turn my notifications off in the evening, and if it's something urgent, I will obviously respond, but typically speaking, it'll be that next morning. So that's what I do till about 6. 6 till 8 a.m. is typically more creative work. So that is a case of creating presentations like this, planning content. So today being a Monday, the first 2 hours of today was spent, or just over 2 hours was spent planning out this week's content, which I do on a Monday. It's a case of I've just brought out a new program, Elite in 8. So making sure all content for that has been all edited and captions have been written. I've written out my LinkedIn posts, so I do 4 of those a week. I've written out my emails, which I do 3 times per week, and also I'll map out a rough template for YouTube videos like this one. Although my current camera, my DJI, is not working, which is less than ideal because that's what I used to film. But we can work around it. So with this, I'll have music on, coffee with a bit of caffeine, obviously, and I'm pretty much locked in. I'll put some music on. I'm good to go. Around about 8 o'clock-ish is when sunrise will happen over here in Spain. So I like to try to almost watch sunrise, get some early bright light, help with circadian rhythm, help kickstart the morning a little bit more now that sort of the caffeine's wearing off. And just go and put an audio book on. I'll typically go do a loop, go and sit in a coffee shop upstairs, up at the top of the road. And again, just watch sunrise, enjoy a coffee, and then sort of come back. So it's like a little bit of a break. Then 9 to 11, I'll come back. It'll be a case of, is there any tasks that I need to complete from the morning? It's a case of obviously focusing more of in the business. So client programming, have there been any check-ins that I need to respond to? Have there been WhatsApp messages that I need to get back to? I post on social media. So on a weekdays, like 10 a.m. over here, I'll post on Instagram. So make sure that's gone up okay. Recheck everything, etc. I'll also do the same on LinkedIn. So just make sure everything is good and focus on the business, focus in the business as opposed to sort of growing the business as such. And then normally around about 11 o'clock, once that's done, I'll have meal 1. I'll have, so by this point I've had 2 coffees, so from an appetite suppressant standpoint, I'm actually not too bad. And it just allows me to push that first meal back. I'll cook my eggs, not with milk, because who cooks eggs with milk? I then will normally watch like a YouTube video on certain topics. So like today I watched a Mike Thurston podcast where he had a guest on talking about content creation. So I was making notes, eating breakfast. But I'll also watch, business related videos, certain different podcasts. I'm really liking like the fly on the wall sort of YouTube videos at the moment. So like Ollie Marchand does one on a Sunday, which I like to sit and watch. It's just like very raw week in his life, that sort of thing. So typically I watch just something like that, something a bit of downtime before getting ready to go to the gym, which I normally aim to be at for around about 12 o'clock. A little bit earlier on a Monday, it'll be about 11:30 because I've got a call at 1. So you can see there briefly that by 11 a.m. I've done about 4 hours of focused work. I keep my phone away from me, but it sort of defeats the object because I have WhatsApp and Instagram on my laptop. So I say I don't use my phone, but I'm pretty much using the same apps as I would do on my phone. 5,000 steps have been done. I've exposed myself to sunlight, not literally exposed myself, but sunlight on the eyes. And then obviously I've consumed meal 1, I'm hydrated, and I'm ready to go to the gym. So that is for me my perfect morning routine and what I aim to stick to Monday to Friday. Weekends slightly different because on a Saturday morning I typically have a longer run, so I normally get out about 9 o'clock, so I'll just maybe wake up at about 7:30, give myself a bit of a lie-in, and then a Sunday as well, a little bit similar in terms of a little bit more focus on sleep, because don't get me wrong, I still try to get 7-8 hours of sleep per night, but sometimes it's a little bit off, and at the moment where I am with doing what I'm doing, that's something I'm willing to compromise on just for this moment. Now, supplementation, I keep things very simple. I don't overcomplicate it. I keep things very easy to follow. So I will wake up, I'll have a pint of water, I'll have that with 5 grams of creatine and drink that, and then I'll also have some electrolytes. Nice to keep me hydrated. Creatine from a performance aspect as well, and just gives me a little bit more of a cognitive ability creatine has on the brain, and then also black coffee because caffeine helps improve focus, etc. I have tried like these before. I did try them about a week or so ago. I'm not really a fan. Just makes me feel a little bit sick. They're nicotine pouches. Nicotine has been shown to help improve and boost focus and cognitive ability, but it makes me feel sick and not really a fan. So from 6 to 11, 2 black coffees, which are around about 250 milligrams of caffeine, not grams, otherwise I'd probably be dead. Creatine, like I've spoken about, obviously to help with training, but also that cognitive ability and help with brain health and function. Electrolytes to help me keep hydrated, and then nicotine again, which can help boost, but I'm not really using that too much. I do also use noise cancellation headphones, which are these JBL ones, which do the job. And I'll put 1.5 music on. Now, my playlist is slightly strange. It's either Afro House on 1.5 or Brazilian Funk, which very, very unique styles of music, but it works for me. Okay, some people say you should listen to music without lyrics. You know, Beethoven I've used, this, that, and the other. This is what I've been using. It just gets me in the zone. And also now I've been doing it for a few weeks. When I listen to the music, I now know, right, focus, get work done. It almost has that it resonates with me now. And obviously I'll sip through water throughout the day to keep on top of hydration levels, and I'll remain in a fasted state until 11 a.m. just purely from ability to focus, and also not causing any spike in blood sugar levels, which can affect energy levels. So that's how I do so. Now you might be thinking, right, Jack, thanks for talking about yourself for the last 12 minutes, but how can I implement this? Because I work a 9 to 5. Well, you certainly can. I know this because I used to work a 9 to 5 myself. In 2023, it was actually 8:30 till 4:30, and then I'd go back out again in the evenings. But I followed a very similar process to this, and I've plenty of clients that work 9 to 5, and they also implement systems like this. So, get up 5:30, you wake up, hydrate, you've got all your clothes and everything ready the night before, so you don't need to faff about trying to find your gym stuff. You get to the gym for about 6. You've got 2 hours in the gym, you've got about an hour to train, because that's more than enough. You might do a little bit of cardio afterwards. You then have about half an hour if you wanted to go to the sauna and the steam, have a shower, change, and then make your commute home. So you're back home for about 8 o'clock. You've got half an hour to have your meal 1 post-workout. Again, I would have prepped it the night before, so just less time faffing about and maybe a little bit more time to talk with a partner, with your children, etc. And then obviously commute to work 9 till 5. So you can see here that there's no real excuse or reasoning why you can't just get up that bit earlier and get it done. And I know that the morning sessions are going to put you in a fantastic position for the rest of the day and allow you to get the most out of it. Because after work, fatigue's higher, stress is higher, therefore cortisol levels are higher, your willingness to train is going to be lower, and therefore there are higher amounts of excuses as to why you should be skipping the gym and going tomorrow, and then tomorrow never comes. So that's something I would think about if you were working to 9 to 5, structuring something like this, nice and simple. Fail to prepare to fail. That's what I got told at school for my GCSEs. If you fail to prepare to fail. I didn't fail, I just didn't do as well as I probably could have done because I didn't prepare. So there we go. That is a little bit on morning routines and how I sort of structure them, how I would go about them and implementing them for 9 to 5 workers, for business owners, etc. However, just win that morning. It really will elevate you. I mean, if you can go out and do some exercise instead, or maybe a run, then obviously do that. So for me, the key takeaways would be that the mornings don't have to just be used for training. I would always advocate activity. However, you could maybe look to train in lunchtime, or if you prefer training in the evening, you can do that. Maybe use your mornings to work on other projects, side hustle, self-development, reading, meditation, whatever it is that you may want to do. Because people do complain that they don't have enough time to get everything done that they want to do, but we all have the 24 hours, we all have the same 24 hours in a day, I think, with the words of Molly May. But we do have enough time. It's just obviously taking priority with what you want to focus on. But for me, you know, if you can set yourself up in that morning routine, it's only going to put you in a fantastic position for the rest of the day to make better nutritional choices, to be a better colleague, to be a better partner, have more ideas, have more energy. And then once you finish work, you can go home and chill, or, you know, do whatever you wish. You don't have to think, I've got to go to the gym, when it's probably going to be a little bit busier and you're not going to be able to get the session done and think, what is the point? So there we go. That is a little bit more on morning routine, how I go about maximizing my morning routine, how you can go about maximizing your routine. And I've said routine far too many times. But if you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe, and I shall see you on the next one.